Hey everybody, thank you for joining us again for our coverage of E3. I'm Griffin McElroy for Polygon.com. Joining me is my colleague, Justin McElroy. And today we're talking to DeeJ from Bungie to ask about the Taken King, which is the recently announced expansion for Destiny, a game that Justin and I have combined probably put 6,000 Earth hours into.
Too many.
6,000 Earth hours, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We're hooked. I want to talk to you about a lot of stuff. A lot of Gjallarhorn-related questions, demands.
Let me lead. Can I have a Gjallarhorn?
Yeah.
Do you just have like a card that you can give Justin that he sticks
You know what?
into?
You could carry those around and make a tidy sum just selling them. Yeah.
This is why they don't give me access. I don't even believe there is a button labeled "Give Gjallarhorn."
I want to talk to you first about the new subclasses. The Taken King includes a new subclass for each of the three main classes, Titan, Warlock, and Hunter. And if you play Destiny, you're kind of familiar. I hope you understand what we're talking about.
Don't play Destiny. Why are you watching this video? Like, why? I don't get it.
But something new. The Taken King's actually a great entry point for anybody who hasn't played Destiny.
There we go.
Here you go. Stick around.
So each of the new subclasses introduces sort of the missing damage type that each of the classes couldn't do. How is that going to change the sort of meta game of Destiny? Because right now it feels like each class is sort of designed to be good at a specific type of strategy. Is that going to change when these new subclasses are introduced?
Well, each class, with the exception of the Hunter, which seems very offensive in every way. You have the blade or you have the gun. We're giving every single class in Destiny, be it Hunter, Titan, or Warlock, a new way to express that power. We're filling in the gaps. We're giving them access to the arc, the solar, or the void damage that they've been lacking. In the case of the Hunter, Hunter becomes a ranged support character for the first time. So instead of charging in with your golden gun or your arc blade, you now have a void bow. And the strength of that void bow is to bind teammates together and to trap them so that you and the rest of your team can move in for the kill. The Hunter, for the first time, doesn't have to charge into battle and commit toe-to-toe with their enemy. They can hang back like a siege warrior and just keep throwing those solar hammers, raining fire down on fortified defensive positions. Or, if you still like to get up close and personal, that hammer deals a mighty blow. You can use it as a melee weapon. And my own personal favorite, I'm a sworn devotee to the Warlock Order. I finally get my hands on that arc energy, and it literally comes right through my fingertips.
Palpatine style.
Palpatine style is the most oft phrase I have heard this entire week so far. So yes, if you must, Palpatine style. You're going to, summon the storm down, and you're going to use arc energy as a weapon. So we're giving players new ways to understand their favorite subclass, and I can attest to you personally, I'm looking at that Titan. I was over in our booth today playing through a story mission that we have behind closed doors. Titan's ton of fun. So I might actually break my my long-held streak as a Warlock-only player to embrace some of these other different ways to fight, because it's having a really fun impact on the Destiny sandbox. And those are just the Guardian super abilities. When you get into seeing how the Taken fight and how the new combatants in Destiny operate, you're going to need these new abilities to be able to keep up and to compete with them.
So let me ask about that. Can you talk a little bit about the Taken enemies themselves and how they differ from people we faced off against up to this point?
Yeah, certainly. So Oryx is the main villain in the Taken King. Oryx is the Taken King. So he is an ancient hive leader, and he is Crota's father. So if you have played the raid and if you have killed Crota with his own sword, Oryx is extremely displeased with you. So in order to exact his revenge, he has been literally taking, as the name suggests, known combatants from our dimension, twisting them and mutating them with the darkness, and bringing them back into our solar system as his dark infantry. They have been imbued with terrible new powers. They have new ways to fight. They have some interesting ways to counter your attacks and to evade. So they're going to completely change the way the PvE sandbox works. We're going to give Guardians the things that they need, new weapons, new abilities, so that they combat this new threat. And of course, these new abilities are also going to make the Guardian versus Guardian action in the Crucible a lot more fun, because people who may have perfected every single move in that sandbox, people who know how to counter and, arc bladers, people who know how to handle a Titan as he charges into the room, they're going to have some new surprises that they're going to have to adapt to. And that's the entire Destiny player experience, is that it doesn't become stagnant. It always keeps you guessing. It always surprises you with new ways that you're going to have to adapt to the sandbox, the tactical scenarios that it provides.
You guys call The Taken King the start of year 2 for Destiny. Yep. Can you talk a little bit about what year 2 means for you guys? Is that like a reflection of what you've learned from the first year of Destiny being around? What does year 2 mean for you?
Yeah, it's all of those things. The first year of Destiny was an amazing journey for us, and the community was our partner in that journey. With The Taken King, we begin another year of action and adventure appropriately. It's a major expansion. It's got a full campaign. We're opening up a new destination on your director for you to go conquer and explore. As we just discussed, we're giving your Guardian a new subclass to adapt to. We're giving you new enemies to fight. So it is a very weighty expansion, bigger than anything that we've released before. And as we said, that just kicks off another year that we use to enjoy this living social world, in a symbiosis with our community. The people who've played this game are so passionate, so enthusiastic, so willing to band together to enjoy these activities, so completely willing to come to our forum and tell us how the game could be better, or what they've dreamed about experiencing in Destiny, so that we can develop this game, in tandem with the people who play it. It's an experience that we have always wanted at Bungie, is to be connected to the player, to be able to listen and respond and react quickly, to be able to make this experience dynamic so that it grows and evolves over time, just like their characters in the game. So this is another year of that experience.
Now, I've seen some of the same forums you're referring to, DeeJ, and a lot of those people are mean. They seem mean about some things. So I'm curious, how do you balance the amount of time? But I think that comes from a place of investment, right? Like they're so invested because they put so much time and effort and struggle into getting things. How do you balance or not getting things after run?
Is this another Gallahorn question?
No. How do you balance the work and time that people put into it, and not wanting to disappoint those people, and not wanting to make them feel like all of that was meaningless? How do you balance that fear of disappointing them with wanting to make like substantial changes to the game?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's certainly a conversation. We have player data that informs us as to how people play the game. So if somebody comes to our forum and they say that everyone agrees that there's way too much focus on PvP content, we can take a look at the really even distribution across all the different activities among the player base. Arriving at a consensus is actually very important. So, places like Bungie.net, places like Reddit have that community curated weighting to the way the different topics are sorted. So if a forum, post rises to the top and is able to trend, this is obviously something that has traction, assuming the people in the comments of that thread are agreeing with each other. So with Bungie user research, with Destiny player support, with the community management team that is me and some other people at the studio like Eric Osborne, we're constantly looking at what the players of this game have to say. And there is truth in every piece of feedback. It might be in all caps, it might be laced with expletives, but still somebody with a valid opinion about the game that they love to play. They've taken the time to come to our house on the internet and tell us about it, and that's always something that's worth listening to. My hope, personally, is that people look at the 30 updates we've made to the game since it's launched, not as band-aids, not as oopses or do-overs. These are things that we're doing to make the experience more interesting, to say that, we agree with you. We play our game also. We've had the same experiences that you've had, and we've read your feedback, and we agree, and the data supports that the game would be better if we were to make some of these changes. If we were to extract the material grind from weapon upgrades, if we were to have the time that you spend on your weapons and your gear be more valuable, if we were to take the raids and make them more challenging over time instead of just toppling bosses off the top of a building. We have done all of these things to make Destiny durable, to make the experience last longer, and to make it something that you would want to come back to again and again.
Is the Taken King going to introduce any kind of ascension system that we got in House of Wolves to make the gear that players earned in year 1 viable with the new content?
Well, with the experience that we're having at E3 right now, we're revealing the Taken King. talking to you about the essential adventure, the essential opportunities for making your Guardian more powerful over time. That's obviously a huge part of Destiny, is that your Guardian does become more powerful. In terms of the progression system and all of the nuances and complexities of that, that's a story that I want to get perfectly. So we're going to devote a lot more time, perhaps later on this summer as we get closer to launch, to making sure that everybody knows everything they need to know to come into the Taken King and understand what that means to their character.
I guess in simpler terms, you've talked about this before, about how your experiences in Destiny, it's important for Bungie that that experience carries over into whatever is next. And I feel like the more I play Bungie, the more concerned I get that Destiny. Oh, I'm so sorry. The more I play Destiny, the more worried I get that this stuff that I fought for and grinded for to get is one day just going to disappear when Destiny 2 or whatever comes out. Is that fear something I should not be so worried about?
Well, like I said, we'll unpack all that stuff, and we'll have that conversation before the adventure in the Taken King begins on September 15th. What I can tell you is that the essential dream of playing Destiny is that you're always becoming more powerful. You're always being given something new to master. A 10-year relationship with one weapon would be a pretty boring game, in our opinion. So our goal is to compel you and to inspire you to see new and more powerful things that you need to embrace, you need to learn, you need to upgrade, and you need to master, so that you're always pursuing that next way in which your Guardian is more powerful, be it a new ability, a new way to channel, the powers of the Traveler as a weapon towards your enemies, or just the weapons yourselves. We've got some fantastic weapon lines in this game, different foundries. We're giving a little bit more personality to the manufacturing entities in the Lap Safe City. Some of those weapons are on display in our playable booth. You'll see this stuff as people leave the booth with their own, video or their own experiences. But we're unveiling entire new product lines here at E3, and I think when people add those things to their arsenal, they're not going to want to go back, because these are some amazing new ways for you to fight.
This is a bit of a bigger picture, but I think Taken King really plays into it. If you're looking at an MMO and comparing that with Destiny, with an MMO, you're paying a monthly fee, so I think there's an impetus on the developer to constantly deliver something that you should be doing right then. If you don't have something to do right then they have failed, because you're paying monthly. With Destiny, that's not the structure, right? You're paying for these expansions, and I found like the patterns that I have fallen into, and I think some other people have fallen into, are to come back when there's new stuff, see all the new stuff, experience it, really get your money's worth, and then maybe wait until there's something else new to check out, and then come back to it. Are you seeing that in your player data, that sort of ebb and flow? And is that by design? I mean, are you guys comfortable with people getting to a point where they're like, I feel like I've seen all I need to see right now, but I'll be back for the next thing?
I think every player finds their own balance with the game. It's designed to be compatible with your life, so that you shouldn't feel like Destiny's a chore. You shouldn't feel like if you don't invest hours and hours and hours every week into the game that you're going to fall behind and you're going to become irrelevant. I've seen players come back to Destiny after a couple of weeks or a couple of months off enjoying other games. They're still relevant in the Crucible. They can still pick up a raid. They can still play some strikes with their friends. We don't want to create a game where people feel like they have to be married to it. At the same time, we have seen many players that play every single weekly reset. We've seen players who are always interested in charging back in on multiple characters and enjoying the raids and enjoying the strikes, chasing that last exotic weapon. The average player of Destiny has about 100 hours invested in the game. That's every single raid Sherpa who loves seeing these experiences through fresh eyes, like all over again for the first time, and that also includes the person who never got off the ground in old Russia. So 100 hours on average among our active player base is a significant investment of time. Everybody sort of decides on their own value in terms of being a Destiny player, and we want to make sure that every single type of player feels at home in our world, and that their contributions are valid, and that they're welcome to come back to the world of Destiny whenever they want, throw in, have some fun in a public event, go test their mettle in the Crucible, and we give them new things to do. So the Blades of Crota appear in the world, and then there's Fallen Patrols that appear in the world, and you're wielding a Scorch Cannon for the first time. So, whether you are buying every single expansion or not, we're doing things for every single player, so that to keep our original promise, the world of Destiny is this dynamic place that evolves and changes over time. And we're always giving you fresh things to do and always new reasons to come back to this world and enjoy it with your friends or with people you've never met before.
Great. Well, DeeJ, thank you for stopping by to tell us a little bit more about The Taken King. I think I speak for both of us when I say I'm going to play it a lot. And thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us for our E3 coverage. Stay tuned. We will have a lot more for you throughout the week.